All right, so if you're watching this video, you've obviously managed to log into our class. So just want to welcome everybody to the Pre-Apprenticeship Year 1 class 2019-2020. My name is Kurt Geisinger. I'm going to be your instructor. I know I have meetings set up with several of the schools. Hopefully I'll get to meet all of you here in good time if I haven't already. But, again, my name, like I said, is Kurt Geisinger. If you guys need to get a hold of me, there are means through the LMS, the Learning Management System, which we'll talk about. However, you can also reach me by email. You can reach me on the phone. That's my cell number. You can text me. You can call me. Your best bet, if it's not a time-sensitive matter, is probably email. I always, I'm always checking email. If it is something you need to get a hold of me right away, obviously the cell number is a better bet. But just tell you guys a little bit about where I'm coming from. I won't spend a lot of time here, but I worked for an electrical contractor for almost 14 years. I did just about everything you can there, starting as an apprentice to a foreman, to an estimator, project manager, designer, and then I'm actually a graduate of this program myself, so I do have a pretty good idea what you guys are dealing with. It seems like that was long ago now, but it actually wasn't as long ago as it seems. After I graduated, I stayed on and actually taught the Year 1 program to our in-person apprentices for 6 years. So I know this Year 1 curriculum pretty well. I've been involved with it for a long time. And then most recently, it's actually a new change for me. I'm working as a factory rep for lighting, in charge of distributor and contractor sales and design. So again, a kind of a shift for me, but I've seen the industry from a lot of different angles. I've been in it for a while now. So, again, just gives you guys an idea where I'm coming from and maybe lays out some options for you in the future as well. So anyway, enough about that. Let's talk a little bit about this course and what you might expect to see here. So again, if you're watching this video, you've all gotten this far and you've all clicked this link. So what we're looking at here is what we refer to as the LMS CMS, Learning Management System, Content Management System. Basically, the online portal that you're going to use and we use to administer this class. You're going to do worksheets here. We can correspond here. There's going to be videos and other resources for you guys to watch. So let's take a minute and just look at this and sort of see how it's all laid out. So sort of starting on the top left over here, we can minimize this sidebar by clicking on this little button here. I generally like to have it open here. This is effectively your home button right here. You click on this, it'll take you back to this screen that we're looking at now from anywhere else in the course, okay? Not to be confused with this home button that actually takes you back to sort of a main login screen, if you will. If you have more than one class, you'll see all your classes. You guys only have one. This home button, kind of ignore that. You don't want to see that. Participants, if and it's not going to really show anybody, nobody's logged in yet, but you're going to see myself, you're going to see our apprenticeship coordinator, Christy Wickard, you're going to see our executive director, Marissa Bankard. If you guys haven't met them yet, I'm sure you will shortly. I'm actually in here twice. This is sort of my student account just for purposes of this video. But then this is actually me as an instructor, so I'll probably have this account deleted at some point. But if you guys need to reach me in here or for whatever reason, make sure you don't use this student version. Go with this one. I don't know why it says no role, but you don't want to grab me as a student. You want to get a hold of me as an instructor. But anyway, participants list. As everybody logs in, you will see everybody there, including we do have 4 schools participating this year, so there will be students from other schools on this list as well. Moving right down the list, you have the grades button over here. That's going to show you your grades as we go. Every assignment's kind of laid out in the grade sheet. Speaking of grades, our course is basically broken down into 4 categories. So basically you have here your first semester homework category, and that all falls sort of within this border here. If we scroll down, so we're looking at all, they call it homework. You guys are doing all this in class, at home, whatever the case may be. So basically here's your homework category. Then we have a quiz category. What the quizzes are is I've basically compiled, these are all 10 question quizzes. It's what I think are probably about the 10 most important questions that you really need to grasp. It's at the end of each chapter, so you're going to have a short quiz. And then we're going to have a midterm and a final as well, which I don't have entered in here yet. But essentially your grade is going to be made up of 25% homework, 25% quizzes, 25% midterm, and 25% final. That makes a semester grade. Repeat all that again for the second semester. Average the 2 semester grades together. That's your year grade. So that's how our grading system is kind of laid out. One thing to mention on the homework assignments here, as I scroll back up, for all the homework assignments, number 1, you guys will be issued a IEC student manual and a student workbook. The workbook is made up of worksheets. They correspond exactly with all of these worksheets here. So you have a book that has these same questions in if you'd rather look at it that way. But the other thing to mention is you actually, for all these homeworks, we've allowed 2 attempts, and we will keep the highest attempt. Okay, in my mind, homework is sort of the effort portion. That's why you've got the 2 attempts. That's practice. Quizzes, midterm, final, that's 1 attempt, okay? No surprise there, I wouldn't think. And frankly, the rest of these buttons over here are not really going to be of any use to any of you. So anyway, if I want to go back to my home page, as I said, I can simply come here and click on this top button, the name of the class, IEC Central PA Year 1, right? So, back into the main section. I don't think you're going to find anything too useful in this right-hand section. They do show recent activity, things like that. We're not really going to use the calendar that's built into here. I will have a link to a schedule that I'll post up here. This is kind of like the announcement section. If I have anything new to add, you'll see a link to it pop up right here. Time to time, you'll see announcements or things like that. So anyway, let's sort of dive into the content of the class here. So basically, we have various sections here. So you see intro, you see 101, 102. Our curriculum is made up of, basically we go up from 101 to 110, and then at 111, we have our midterm exam. And we start again at 112, so technically this would now be second semester, or I'm sorry, the second half of the first semester. And then in lesson 118, we actually have our final exam. And then we pick up at 119. We will have a second semester midterm, continuing through all the way up to lesson 135, which is the last actual lesson, and then our second semester final exam. One thing to mention about the finals and midterms, so your first semester midterm will cover from the beginning of the year, so lesson 101 up to 110. Okay, and then from after 110, you have your midterm at 111. Then we'll pick up at 112 through 117. So your first semester final will then cover 112 up to 117. We'll pick up then second semester 119 through 126. We have our second semester midterm covers 119 through 126. Then actually for the second semester final, that's going to cover the entire year. Okay, that's what they call the core competency exam. So that's kind of the big one at the end. But other than that, each midterm and final will only cover from the last midterm and final to the current midterm and final, if that makes sense for you guys. Okay, so anyway, enough about that. So basically each lesson is kind of condensed into these little headings. We can click any one of them and it'll actually expand it and show us what is contained within that lesson. Okay. So here, again, we can see 101. You can kind of see what's in there, and we'll dive into each little subheading here. Same thing, we'll close 101. You can open 103, for instance. Various items, resources. I'm going to jump down to 108. That's a good example here for us. So down in lesson 108. So every lesson is going to have a sort of a purpose statement, which you see here. Every lesson is going to have a link to the student manual web book. You guys will have a hard copy of this student manual. Again, this is a page-for-page copy. You're also they're gonna list this section here, which is called homework. Again, for you guys, it doesn't really apply. Your work is kind of all being done fluidly at school, at home. We don't have to define that. But this is the same curriculum that's used for the in-person students. So it's going to basically give you what to do at the beginning of class. You don't really have to worry about that. You guys are sort of doing all this in one sort of continuous motion here. But it just kind of gives you a list of what you need to read, which is the most important thing here. So we're going to thoroughly read lesson 108. That means lesson 108 in this web book. Then you guys also have a second book. It's a red book called Electrical Wiring Residential. Looks like this. It's more commonly called the EWR book. So this is telling us to read EWR 19E, 19th edition, Chapter 3 in its entirety. So as a part of Lesson 108, not only do you have to read Lesson 108 in our IEC book, you must also read Chapter 3 in the EWR book as well. And then again, they're going to list the worksheets that are associated with this lesson. Those are also, we'll see a link to those here as we scroll down. To give you the objectives, again, this is just kind of some touch points for everybody to understand what we should be getting out of all these lessons. Next one here is instructor uploads. These are things that I have specifically uploaded to this course. You guys are the only ones seeing this stuff. This is, if we were in an in-person class, this is the stuff I would be telling you face to face. So I'm always going to try to do a video for you guys. It's generally less than 15 minutes. I try to keep it brief. I know you guys have a lot of other info to digest here. So we have a video here. It's always going to be a YouTube link. You can, and I'll click some of these after we go through. So you can, click that link, watch that video. It's most times going to be me. Sometimes I outsource if there's some other content I want you to watch. But I'm going to try to, this is something new this year. I'm just calling it an extra. Listen, I'm always finding stuff on the internet, in conversation, stuff I find interesting, usually somewhat related to the chapter. Sometimes it deviates a little. Listen, it's extra. I know you guys are busy. If you never click on one of them, I don't care. You're not going to be tested on it. Again, it's just something I think is interesting, relevant. This one is just for instance, it's a picture. Some of them are going to be YouTube links. Some of them might be articles. A lot of them are just going to be, simple pictures or things like that I find interesting or otherwise want to tell somebody about, right? So anyway, instructor uploads. Next one here, not all lessons have this IEC curriculum content. So the IEC is a national organization. They have actually made some videos as a part of this chapter. Again, they don't have this for every chapter, so that's why 108 is a nice lesson to look at. So there's several videos that they also want you to watch as a part of this. And then every chapter does have sort of this yellow videos category. These are all very short. All the ones I've seen are less than a minute. And this is new stuff. All the video content is new stuff for us this year too. So we're kind of all getting our bearings with it. But all these videos are very short. You can go ahead and click through them, and we will do that in a moment. And then we have some review items here. Those are purely optional. You're not being graded on these. This is for your benefit only. Again, I'll show you that momentarily. Here's really the main part of this. Here's the worksheets. So this is all of the homework grades we looked at. Here's a link to all those worksheets. Okay. So you're going to have to go into each one of these, and you're responsible for answering them. Again, you do have 2 attempts. We will keep the highest grade as your graded attempt. And then after that, you have your, I'm calling it the comprehension quiz. This is that 10-question quiz. Okay, so this is really the graded portion. So we just looked at all this stuff here. This is the graded portion of your curriculum of this program, really. It's your worksheets and then the comprehension quiz, right? So I'm actually going to break this video, and we'll do a second short video. I'm actually going to jump into these different sections and just kind of show you guys how to navigate that stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next video here.